last night I went to Casa Bonita in Lakewood, Colorado, and I really want to say that this is definitely one of the best dining experiences I've had in my entire life. And for my Colorado trip, with it having a bunch of ups and downs, this was definitely the high point. But there were some, things that I liked and didn't like about the restaurant. So first of all, when you go inside the restaurant, if you have a reservation, they'll let you in at least 15 minutes early if you show up early. So I appreciate that. And then also there is a metal detector just to make sure, everybody stays safe. So, after you enter, what happens is that you go down a hallway, and if you're into drinking, they'll give you a wristband. And then one of the big problems I've had with the wristband is that it's very, very hard to take off. Legitimately, I had to come home and use a knife to actually cut off my wristband. And then after that, you go and get your food. And, most of the time you sit in two places. There's the waterfall area, and then that's usually more for families. And then there's the Black Bar Cave area where everybody else sits. So, when I got my food, I was a little disappointed with the pricing. I would say that, you are paying for the reservation, and the reservation is its own fee. And then the other thing, too, is that you're paying $29.99 for the food. You get one entree, and then everything else, is additional. So, it can jack up really quickly. I think one big mistake I made was that when I watched the episode of South Park, I thought that it was actually a buffet where it's all you can eat, or all the entrees are for $29.99, because I felt that one dish for $29.99 was a little overly pricey. I ordered the chicken enchiladas, and they were very delicious. It had a great amount of cheese, it had a great amount of chicken. They had some nice sauces on top of it. They had a side of mashed beans, which was really good. It had a good amount of spice and a good amount of salt on it, just to make it very flavorful. Honestly, nothing tasted bland. And then also too, it had a side of something like a coleslaw, but I didn't really touch it because I'm not a coleslaw person. But overall, it was really good. Then I had the pork carnitas. And the pork carnitas was definitely very, very delicious. Again, the pork had a nice spice to it. It honestly tasted like they had some Italian seasoning, or maybe some oregano in it, but it worked very, very well. I got a little gluttonous, and I ordered the topatillas, and I think the topatillas were complimentary, but I ordered the Carlota's Mexican key lime custard. Very delicious. It had a right amount of tart, right amount of sweetness, and a right amount of sour you get from a lime a lime pudding type of thing. And it also had a nice creamy taste. It was very, very delicious. Then I had the Cleo's ice cream sandwich, which is something that they put on the menu if you don't like Mexican desserts, really. So it was like a Chips Ahoy cookie, except a little bit bigger than Chips Ahoy cookie, with loads of ice cream and lots of mini chocolate chips. And then also the cookie itself had mini chocolate chips. I like the mini chocolate chips, that way you taste more of the vanilla ice cream. After that, I saw cliff divers, you saw the puppet show, you saw a lot of people have a great time, and honestly felt like you were in Disney World going to the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction. All the lighting reminded you of Mardi Gras and downtown New Orleans. On Bourbon Street, with all the colorful electric blue, electric green, electric red, and other types of lighting, really. And I think the staff and everybody was very professional. Everybody played their role. It seemed like everybody was very enthusiastic, and I really appreciate that, because sometimes that's part of working in a restaurant, especially a very themed restaurant, is that they expect you to do your role and play your role very strongly. As a Thanksgiving Day dinner, even though it wasn't on Thanksgiving Day, it was definitely one of the best Thanksgiving Day dinners that I ever had in my life. it was the highlight of my trip to Colorado, and I definitely will love to come back, and I highly recommend this really awesome Transcendent restaurant.